This is Pattern Practice.
What a mess. What a mess. But no, everything's good. Started at the new wealth firm. So everything's going fantastic there. They
You've
have
already
me
started.
doing, 2 months ago, and they have me doing the seminars. So I'm heading that up. I got one tomorrow.
So what are the primary differences for you now that you can talk about? What's changed, with the new org for you?
So
And
at my
why move?
previous,
What are the advantages? Tell us about it.
yeah, at my previous firm, I'm not going to name it, but
Oh
I
yeah,
felt
I'm
very
sure we never did.
handcuffed as far as what I could do for my clients. I'll give you a quick example. Like I'm a CFP, Certified Financial Planner, so I make financial plans for my clients. And so I created a financial plan. I attached it in an email to a client, sent it to him, and said, "Hey, here's the financial plan for us to review." I got an email. It was either an email or a phone call, slap on the wrist from HR saying, "You can't call it a financial plan." I'm like, why not? It's like, because the client can hold us liable for the results within the plan. I'm just like, but that's what we do. Like, we make financial plans for clients. And it's like, no, you got to call it the e-money plan, which is the software. So I'm like, okay. so, so I felt very handcuffed. Like I could never do social media through them because they're a big, big firm. So the hoops I would have to jump through, crazy. I want to basically create, and we've spoken about this before, but create that office where it's like a one-stop shop for my clients. And I can't do that where I was. So now I'm studying for the enrolled agent exam, which is the designation from the IRS, to be able to do tax prep for my clients. So now I'll do the investment planning, the financial planning, the investment management, and the tax planning. And then I just found a law school that I can do online and at night. So I might do that to become an estate lawyer. But the reason I'm doing this is I don't want to do all that myself, but I want to be able to create a team to do all of that so I can manage my team. So for me growing right now, I'm just going to focus on the tax and the financial planning, and that's it. And then we'll outsource the estate work and all that until I build my revenue up to the point where I can bring in a lawyer and do it all in-house. But so the new firm I'm at, I can do all that. And like I said, I'm doing the seminars and talking in front of a lot of prospects, and it's really nice, a lot of fun. The topic is taxes and volatility in retirement, volatility in the markets. So it's been really good.
Are you happy? So, we talked for, I don't know, years about, I think a long-term plan that you had at your previous firm. And obviously that's changed. So do you have a much different long-term plan now? And do you feel like you're going to be able to achieve the goals that you have, I guess, more easily or better? Or are there new challenges for you? Like okay, that was a lot of talking. What are the new challenges that you have? Like, cause you have some pretty ambitious goals, and it sounds like you are no longer tied up in certain ways that you were before, but are you also now facing some new obstacles that you didn't have before? And what might those be?
So at the previous firm, the goal was to buy that senior advisor's book of business.
Yeah.
And I just got to the point where I felt like she was just stringing me along for the ride.
Yeah, you're saying that it wasn't really like a very collaborative experience for you.
Not only that, and here's what I think happened, because I'm not going to go into detail as far as what happened, but basically we have a couple of what are called client associates under us, and they viewed her as the advisor and not both of us as the advisor. And so when I would ask them to do something for me, they're like, well, you're not my boss. It's like, well, no, I am. like you report to me, you're supposed to be helping me. And so basically, client associates got a little disrespectful with me, and I asked the other advisor, the senior advisor, we'll call her Kay. I asked Kay, I'm like, look, I need your help to sit down, like all of us sit down and hash this out. And she wouldn't do it because I think what was happening, a couple different things. She was kind of fueling the fire to make herself look better to these client associates to get them
I
on her
see.
side. And so I felt that, and I told her, I said, Kay, if you do not help me to hash this out and get me back on board as the lead, and them respect me, I'm not going to buy your book. And she's like, well, then you need to figure out how to do this and get them to respect you. I'm like, I'm telling you, I need your help. I said, so if you're saying you're not going to help me with this, like we can all sit down and talk about this. Nope, I'm not helping. I'm like, okay, then I'm no longer purchasing your book of business.
Damn. Yeah.
And
Okay.
I think she thought I was bluffing on it, but I wasn't. Because the other thing that I feel in my gut is I think her son wants to come in to the business.
So it's almost like she was like delaying, like
Yeah.
kind of trying to create space and room for him to maybe move in so that she could
Yep.
just shaft you later. But she
Yeah.
had to have maybe a plan for the firm at least to be like, no, I have plans. Don't worry. When I retire, it'll be fine. And really, she had maybe some ulterior motives.
That's what I think. So I just said, you know what? I need to be in a spot that's going to be better as far as what I want to do for my clients. So not only that, but I'm with a firm where they want me to start buying equity into the business to become
Okay.
part owner. So, over time, I'll, buy an equity stake in it. So that way, for them, it kind of locks me in because why would I go somewhere else if I have equity ownership that I've bought into?
Mm-hmm.
So we have that, and we just have some pretty grand plans as far as how we want to expand and everything. So right now, we're in Southwest Florida. We eventually want to kind of go up the coast, so up to Venice, open an office there, open an office in Tampa, and then also on the East Coast and Miami,
Okay.
Fort Lauderdale, West Palm. And they want me to head that expansion. So we're just really going to grow Southwest Florida right now. And then when we feel like we can bring other advisors on, like maybe some younger advisors, we'll do that in Venice. We'll do it in Tampa. And I'll be the one leading that.
Nice.
So super exciting. So yeah.
So it sounds like you feel maybe more, I don't know, like wanted, more
empowered.
Involved. Yeah, empowered.
Yeah.
Include like you're included as a part of like the long term plan at even the highest level. That's awesome, man. Good for
And
you.
the other thing, so at my previous firm, when I did the kind of final calculation as far as what I got paid out on, so if let's just say my revenue was $1 million, let's say $500,000, I would only get 30% of that as a payout. Where I'm at now, it's going to be 70% payout.
Yeah. Wow. So a lot more motivation for you.
A lot more motivation.
That's nice.
I'm kind of starting from scratch a little bit, but
I imagine that's one of the biggest obstacles, right? Is like rebuilding a book of business from scratch. Or did you have some?
That.
I'm sure some folks follow you.
Oh, I've had a lot of folks follow, and then they've built up their business to the point where I'm coming in and helping the owner out with her book of business. So almost like a servicing advisor, but.
Hold on a sec, buddy.
Yeah. Are you there, Joe?
Oh, I'm here. I'm just listening. I'm just listening quietly.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
So I'm helping out with a lot of the current clients that they have. So that way the owner, what she's really good at is getting out in the community and helping out and being proactive and bringing assets in that way. So I've been helping her out. So as far as a salary goes, I have a salary for a year. And then by that time I'll have enough of a book built up where it's my salary now. So
Oh man,
it's all
that's
good.
cool.
Yeah.
Do you transition away from a salary once you have the book built up? Is it like
Yeah.
a temporary thing? Oh
Yep.
man, that's cool if they do that. So they're making sure you're taken care of in the meantime and you're getting up to speed.
Yep.
That's cool. How'd you get connected with the new firm? Was it like someone that you knew or,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny because, when I had the falling out with the senior advisor, literally the next day I get a phone call from them. And the lady that called me, she's like, I know you're happy there. You told me a million times before, but do you know anyone? I'm like, well, actually, I might be interested. I was like, good timing. She was the one that actually hired me into banking 13 years ago as a personal banker. Come full circle.
Dude, that's so cool. I'm really glad to hear that. It's crazy, you go back like a year ago and none of this I feel like was really on the table. Like you had totally different plans, different trajectory and time. All of that time wasted. The three prongs, what was the point?
No,
I'm kidding. You probably learned. I'm sure you learned something along the way.
He's got the skill. Oh, starting at zero. Yeah, like starting at zero with a black belt.
I prefer starting at zero. This is way more fun.
Are you kidding me? Now he doesn't have any of the bullshit he has to fix. He can just come in with a nice shop and keep it toy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like a toiga.
Like a toiga.
Yeah.
No, good for you, Alex. Good for you. That kind of move is always challenging, but it always you can feel that it's surprising how often it winds up being everything you've ever wanted. Especially if you did it deliberately and you're talented. You have to be talented, listener. Don't just change your job willy nilly.
Right. Oh yeah. It was the calculated
You can be
move.
anything you're capable of.
You're capable of, yes. Very good.
Yeah.
But good.
So I've been building up my skill set over the last few years. So that with like the CFP and the CFA.
Yeah.
Actually, today is results day for the level 3 exam for CFA takers. So everyone's like, "Oh, I passed, I failed." It's like, "Oh, I remember that anxiety." But so I don't feel like it's been a waste the last few years because what I know, I've been building up my skill set. And then now I know a good situation when I see one, and I'm in a good situation now.
There you go.
So,
one of your whole pillars was pruning. Now you have a fresh garden, bud.
Pruned out.
Yeah,
I am pruned out.
Tilled.
Oh man. Oh, that's exciting. Well, we're definitely going to enjoy watching this next saga. Right. It's funny that we recorded your last saga on the pod. We have the chronicles of Alex.
Yep.
Documented.
Does it change, Alex, what you're allowed to do, like outside of the firm? As far as if you wanted to talk about a company, you've talked in the past about like, oh, it'd be cool to get together with you guys and do a deep dive on a company's financials and like flex those muscles. I mean,
I could do that now.
More empowered to do that? Like you have less kind of obstacles and less things to worry about as far as red tape to do those sort of things?
I could do that. I'm not going to give you the name of my YouTube channel that I'm starting.
Okay.
Maybe I can do it offline, off camera.
I'm a hell of a searcher, so be careful.
But no, I'll tell you guys offline. But what it's going to be, I'm going to start a Pokemon investing channel.
Oh my god! Yes,
dude,
that's amazing. I wouldn't have guessed that.
You see the stuff in the
back.
back.
I mean, I guess I maybe eventually would have guessed it if you kept that exact camera angle and I kept trying.
You gave me like 7 guesses, I would have nailed it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so what I'm going to do is basically start a portfolio from scratch, and every video is going to be me contributing at least $250 into the Pokemon portfolio of cards, sealed product, whatever. But I'm going to introduce financial terms to it as well. So, like right now, actually, hold on, let me grab it.
You think this is for like kids?
Oh no. No.
Big boys.
So, like, see
the big
card?
leagues.
See that card right there?
Yeah, I see that card. Yeah.
So this is selling right now. I could probably get $1,500 for this card.
Wow.
So, but right now the market for Pokemon right now is just super high. So I have a feeling this card will go down in value. So
Okay.
part of my episode, I'm going to talk about like if I could buy a put on this card, I would. So, and at what price level I would buy
It,
that put.
is
And
there a card trading options market out there? And if not, what would you
so,
call it when we make one?
so I looked into it. So this isn't like a security,
Can we
right?
securitize
But
Pokemon cards?
what you could do is you can actually create a contract, a legal contract that mimics a put or mimics a
Like
call.
a smart contract.
And yeah.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
so I could go into some, I could tell someone back, look, I want the right to buy this card at $1,200 in 6 months. Would you be willing to do that? I'll pay you $100 to do that because I think this card's going to go down to 800, right? So I can go over things like that on each video. I can go over like the pricing of the option. But yeah, you can do that. But yeah, each
Oh, man.
video I'm going to go over the portfolio, uh, what I'm putting into the portfolio, and at what price I'm going to sell it. Like if this card in the next 6 months were to go to shoot up to this price, I'm selling it and turning it to cash, and we could just kind of log and track the portfolio over time and see how the returns are. Because you want to invest in assets that are uncorrelated with each other. So, like for example, if you buy Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Facebook, those are all pretty correlated. Like when one goes down, more than likely they're all down, right? So in 2022, the stock market was down 20%. In 2022, this card went up 100% in value.
To
In
what
1 year.
end? I have a 20-year investment horizon. I don't care at all about dips. I love dips. I call those discounts. Would I, sell the card when it's high such that I could buy low on my uncorrelated asset? Or to what end,
That's what I
Alex?
would do. In,
Because
in
like I don't care to
2022,
like keep the unrealized number high. That doesn't make sense to me. Or maybe you can explain why it would if you have a 20-year horizon. Or did I just get the outcome correct?
so let me ask you this. Have you ever heard of the lost decade?
Uh,
No.
Maybe, but I'll say no, no, no.
So I think, I forget the time frame on it. Here, let me,
It was a gnarly dip that
hold on.
took a sec to come back, right?
Yeah. So I think it was from like 2000 to 2010. Basically, the returns in the stock market, S&P, were zero.
Yeah,
So for an entire decade, you've lost out on growth. Where if you had a portion of your assets in the stock market, a portion in Pokemon card, portion in fine art, a portion in alternative assets, maybe you'd be up over that time frame. And so you can kind of in 2022, if I had 10 of these cards, I might be willing to sell 5 of these and put it in the market that's down 20%.
so it is. I do have it right then. You get the uncorrelated, so you can sell high and buy low at the same time.
That's how I would approach it.
Okay, I love that. Because like one of my interests in talking to you was one to catch up, and two to ask about. I don't know if this is that's kind of the right kind of segue here. Uh, After you're done sharing your plans for your YouTube, I do want to ask some financial advisor questions or your
Sure.
e-money guru strategies or whatever safe word you should
Yeah.
use.
What you got?
Um, when that YouTube channel is ready, we can absolutely plug it, by the way, to that one person, hi mom, that listens to the whole thing.
Right.
So
Probably love it.
good news, everybody. Tomorrow at I don't know if I should even say when tomorrow. I'm closing on my home sale, and I am net positive from that sale.
Oh,
I will
nice.
leave it at that. I am curious, Alex. Um, or rather, let me give you my whole plan, and then I want to know what you think about what to do with some of this. So I'm gonna get a good net right out of the sale. I'm going to go land in some, short-term rental month to month, and I'm going to pounce on a house, right? Some things I see. There's a lot of volatility. A lot of people are like, oh no, the market's going to be destroyed or whatever. And I'm over here like, this is a good time to be liquid. You know, this is,
Mhm.
a little buffer to, right? You said, so what I did there. Um, and I've got a couple things I might want to buy. Maybe I hold back on those things, and at the scale necessary, maybe I buy an investment property. Maybe I buy a laundromat or whatever, And I do recognize that what I have to beat is the S&P 500. Like it's not enough to make money on your money. It's how much you would make on your money compared to doing nothing with it in the market, right?
Right.
And
Right.
so, and alternative assets and just other strategies and like, you know, interest rates. Maybe I buy a house now feeling pretty good that the interest rates go down. Trump seems to want it to go down. The US government really, really, really wants the interest rates to go down. They are incentivized because of their like interest, renewal? No, refinancing, right?
Mhm.
What would you, how would you talk to somebody in the position of selling a home and wanting to buy a new one in this economy?
I mean, I think it's a great idea. I don't know what the market's like where you're at for real estate, but where I'm at, it's starting to come down and it feels like it's going to come down pretty heavy. How is the missus with doing a short term rental?
Oh,
Is
we
she on
are,
board?
yeah, we are. We couldn't be more on board.
Okay.
The only reason we wouldn't want to stay longer is if there was some financial disadvantage, you know. So we're
What
we're we're up for it to the end of pouncing on a house. That way we're not like, oh, we got to buy a house and we got to find one right away. No, no. All right,
what
we're gonna be
if
in the rental month to month. The guy that's helping us buy a house owns this fully furnished rental. We're gonna land there, work with him, pounce. All right, done with the rental. Awesome. It's awesome. This was my plan, and he specifically offers what I want to do. So far so good, I think.
I I would be open to like do the short term rental, but then have him look for duplexes and then you can go live in one of the duplexes, rent out the other, and then when you find your more primary home, get out of that and rent the duplexes out.
Interesting. Interesting. I do not expect we would be interested in living in a duplex. Uh, I am not against owning a duplex and renting to two sets of people, or whatever.
Mhm.
But
It's short term.
I'm sorry.
I said it's short term. You just would live in half the duplex for a short amount of time.
Oh, as opposed to his rental, is you're saying?
Yeah.
That ship is mostly sailed. There's a lot
Okay.
of logistics challenges to finding it otherwise. It's
Yeah.
it's not a bad idea though. Well, but so question, when to buy a home, and I mean, the answer might just be, well, it depends on your market. Looks like it's going down. I mean, what are your forecasts for interest rates? Is that something you know? Is that something everyone wishes they knew?
So in the finance world, if you knew that something was going to happen, like you knew it was going to happen, I mean, you could take advantage of that and be on a yacht or a mansion. Like, no one knows what exactly is going to happen. Are interest rates going to come down? More than likely. Um, at what rate? How fast? At what level? I don't know. Um, it seems like inflation's coming down. We'll see how tariffs impact the pricing of things.
Right.
But if inflation is corralled, we feel pretty confident about that. The Fed, I think, would be incentivized to start lowering interest rates. So I think in the next couple of years, we could probably be down to maybe 4.5%.
Cool. Cool. And I could always refi. Yes.
You could
Um,
always refi.
um, uh, Talk to me about down payments. Am I correct to think if I see the Zillow number, let's say in the 500 to 600 range, if I take 5% of that number plus whatever, I guess 6%, I'm going to pay more to the damn agents than to my down payment. I guess 11%,
Yeah.
right? 6 plus 5 is 11 plus whatever fees and whatever. Uh, I'm thinking correctly about a viable way to take a loan out on a home, right? 5% down at uh what are rates? 5, 6 right now, and
Mhm.
put the rest into the market. I can't stuff that much in my IRA. I did get more than 14 in my net. I can't put that much in my IRA. So where's that going to go into a retail brokerage? Do I put it all into VTI? Should I buy some Pokemon cards? Like what do I do with all of this unspecified sum of money?
Yeah. How do you feel about
So
crypto, Alex?
Oh, I do
maybe some
also kind of want
crypto.
to, yeah.
I bought a
Also,
little crypto.
you bought a little crypto.
Yeah,
Oh yeah. Well
Oh,
then, maybe it's got a little bit of utility, a little bit.
we'll save that for another
That's fine.
video.
That's fine. We can talk about that later. I did have ChatGPT give me a Rothbardian treatment of Bitcoin. I thought was really really good. A lot of interesting words I didn't know.
oh,
I'll
that's
share
fun.
that later next time we do another Bitcoin episode.
Well,
Um,
Mm.
as far as down payment goes, I mean, Michael might disagree with me on this, but I would do the minimum amount of down payment you can.
yeah,
Um, for some people, it makes them feel better knowing that they've got equity and everything built up, and I get that, right? Um, but I would do the minimum amount. You can refinance later. Now, are we going to see 2%, 3% mortgage interest rates? Probably not. But even a 4.5%, the money's better in the market. Um, you can put it in a brokerage account, and what what I would do, but I see this, I do this every day, do it for a living, is do kind of a tax loss harvesting strategy
right,
in a retail brokerage account.
right.
So it's called direct indexing. So just try to mimic the S&P 500 with 200 securities. Uh, if you have Home Depot and it goes down, sell it, buy lows, lock in the loss. And then that way, when you start buying rental properties and you've got a gain on it and you need to, you sell a rental property down the road and you've got built-in losses in your brokerage or from your brokerage, you can use that to offset gains in the future.
That short clip is going to
Not
be
to pay
called
taxes.
that short clip is going to be called buy lows, sell high. It's going to be awesome. No, that. Yeah, thank you. You've covered the tax loss harvesting again in the past, and
Yeah.
I think that's interesting. I wonder if brokerages have automation. I could probably just automatically follow it. Um, anyway, yeah, that's really interesting because I think eventually I probably will own some like rental kind of side of things.
Or,
Um,
or a business.
or a
If you got a
business.
consulting business and you sell a consulting business or whatever it is,
Sell a business,
you want
true.
to start build up some losses and keep that in your back pocket.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Any other thoughts come to mind about this? Because like my current plan, based on what you've said so far, is well, I'm going to take the net. I'm put a little bit into Bitcoin, just a little bit, and then I'm just going to park it on VTI. Um, would you advise me otherwise? I guess the otherwise you advised if I was up for it would be direct investing, mimicking the S&P, such that I could do tax loss harvesting, where you beat the market by means of tax alpha, right? Where
Yep.
you down the line realize some tax alpha. Um,
Yep. You nailed it.
okay,
So yeah, I want to do VTI. I would just mimic the index, the
tax loss
S&P,
harvesting.
or
I love that. Okay. Yeah, well then is that just a complete strategy? Is that it? Did I do it? And I put it in there and I take
yep.
out loans to buy stuff if I'm up for the margin and we talk later because I don't make that many moves from right now. Okay, I will good. Good. Then I talked to a financial advisor about my plan. He was largely on board with
sitting
it.
in VTI, sitting in VTI until I bought my house worked out really nicely for me. If I
Mm-hmm.
did it right now, it would not be nice. Like if I wanted to buy my house right now, it would have been maybe a
Your
bad
timing
strategy.
was really good on
Timing
that.
is ridiculous.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I want
We
to say
talk
you
a lot
got
about how
lucky.
Joe's timing is impeccable, but I did get lucky. There was,
Eh,
I'd say there was maybe different parts luck and skill there, or
I
luck and strategy.
more skill. I would say for you more skill than luck because we had conversations about it, right?
I did have
Where
a
we're like, look,
professional in my corner.
if
Yes,
you
that
have
was helpful.
a goal in mind and you've got the funds earmarked for it, don't
Right,
do anything
right.
stupid. Don't do anything
Yeah,
And
emotional with that.
you pulled it off. And I mean, Alex. So on the in another thread, uh, I am joking often about the specifics of my net and the timing seeming to line up with a bunch of stuff Trump is doing in my favor to the economy as I become liquid.
Right.
And so I've been
Yeah.
teasing my buddies that they are not as liquid. And so
Yeah.
we'll see if
Yeah,
that
it's true.
works out for me.
How
Pretty
long have you
solid
lived
here
in
right now.
this home?
I lived in this house for like 5 years, and it is up.
Wow, time flies.
It is.
Time really
but
flies.
Are you trying
you're
to
married.
reverse engineer my net?
No,
Don't say it.
You won't have to more than likely owe any taxes on the gain at all.
I am below
Yeah, two quick
500,000 net.
Okay.
Yes, I am
Nice,
below
nice.
500,000 net. But
Nice.
Yeah, just real
yeah.
quick. You don't have to tell me how much you made. I just real quick. How much did you buy it for, and what did you sell it for?
That is public information as of tomorrow. So
Yeah,
you can look
we
that
probably
up.
figure it out on our own if we're curious.
So-
I also,
we-
by the way, Alex, I put 7.5% down. So I also
Okay.
came in shy of like the 10%, and it ended up being yeah, I don't know. I feel like I got a little bit four squared on it, but I didn't really have the wherewithal to. Yeah, are you familiar with the Foursquare method when you're buying a car?
That's
that
where
the
you
dealership will use on people?
you double bounce and then you slam it so that they're out.
It's where they draw like a box, like four squares, and they write down like they write down like an interest rate, and I don't know, they fucking write down different figures in the boxes, but they tell you to write in one of the boxes like what you want to pay that month, because it's like all the pay every month, because like all the numbers
sales
move.
tax.
And really, what they're trying to get you to do is like commit to a monthly payment.
Yeah.
They're trying to get you to like, oh, I can make this monthly payment, and then they fuck you on the interest and everything else. So something like that. Anyway, I know for my house, I was like, yeah, I want to put this much down, and I want to pay no more than this like every month. And, whatever kind of deal we can come up with that works within those figures, I'm like open to. And it basically boiled down to like, well, if you put 7.5% down and then this and that and yada, yada, we can hit the numbers that you want. So that's what we did. And I went into it with the intention of putting like 10% down. And so I put a little bit less down, and it saved me more cash in the bank, which allowed me to go and like, have a fence built and stuff really quickly that I wanted to do. So it ended up being nice. It was like a good deal, I think.
I tried to put 20% down, but then I showed up and they were like, "Oh, you need closing too." And I was like, "Good. Well, then make it 15, and the rest of that 5 will be closing. Thank you." So that's how much I put down for this house, which is nice on the net, but like I wish I put 5 and put it all in the market. Holy crap. But this next house, I'm putting down as little as possible because I want to realize the greatest total return, and I have no concern whatsoever for like my equity or whatever, or like owning my house or whatever. As long as you have assets, even illiquid, I can make my mortgage. Like even if I lose my job, I can like take a loan against my stocks, to pay it for a sec or whatever. Like you get to keep the money, when you
what
put it in the
sold me
market.
on what sold me on putting less down on a house is actually something a friend of ours said, Dennis, if you're curious, Joe. It was like, and this is maybe obvious in retrospect, but at the time it kind of clicked for me, which is basically like whether you put 3% down or you put 20% down, whatever equity the house itself gains is 100% yours. So it's like you buy a house at $500,000 and you only put 5% down, whatever that is, 20,000.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the house doubles in value. You get that additional $500,000 of value. It's not like you only get 5% of that or some shit. It's not like, you're eating into your equity by putting less down up front. Like, you have less starting equity from the initial value of the house. But if the value of the house goes up, you get 100% of that gain, which is important, I think, to think about if you're going to put money down on a house, like especially if you expect the market to go up, which, maybe not for a little while. It seems like we're in a bit of a, like Alex was saying, it's finally kind of, it seems at least maybe stalled out. Yeah. It's a little more, I guess you could say normal, if anything. It's a little less like crazy. And who knows, maybe there'll be a dip or something, but I plan to be here for a while. So
I one comment on the you get more equity. That was your money anyway. Not that you weren't saying this. I just to put it in perspective, like whether it's equity in a home or dollars in your bank, it's the same dollars.
Yeah.
So to what use you put them to is the actual impact you can
Right. Are
make.
you investing them in a house, or are you investing them in the
Yeah,
market
are
at
they,
that
yeah,
point? Right.
yes, yeah, exactly. Do you want the terms of your loan to change? Like that's what putting money down does. Yeah, exactly,
Exactly.
exactly. And if you put less down, well, you get to keep some of that money, and then maybe you have a little bit of a runway. Like you don't want to forego 6 months of savings to put more down on your house because then you'll run out of money and they'll take your house. Um, but okay, cool. I think I got what I wanted out of that. But Alex, I'm sure I'll be bringing up how I'm doing as I go and be like, oh, like what about this business? Or like what about like, look, I
I
wrote a
want to hear
Python
it.
script to automate tax loss harvesting. I'll sell it to your company for, this
Yeah,
much money a month. Um,
I like that. I like
uh,
that. A lot of if-then statements. If
yes,
Home Depot goes down 10%, then buy Lowe's
yes,
at market.
yeah, yeah. You're
Um,
always
I
looking to buy
wanted to.
lows,
I was buy Lowe's, sell
buy
high.
low, sell high.
Um, I wanted to go over just kind of a financial strategy with you guys. I think you might find it interesting because I'm getting ready to propose this for a client next week, but it's pretty powerful, I think. Have you guys ever heard of a charitable remainder trust?
No.
Classic. Yeah,
No?
I have, but tell Mike about it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Tell me.
you've heard of a CRT?
No, I'm just teasing.
Oh, I was going to say, nice. So I, I'll give you a quick little backdrop. So had these two clients come in, husband and wife. They don't have any kids, but they have substantial money. And I asked them, I'm like, okay, well, if something happens to you guys, where does the money go? Um, like, do you have any nieces, nephews, like, or what does that look like? And he's like, oh, more than likely, we would just have it go to a charity. I'm like, okay. Um, in their taxable brokerage account, he has like $1 million Apple position where I think he bought it. His cost base is like 200,000 in it, so he's got 800,000 of gain on this. So he's super worried. He's like, if tech gets hit anymore, then I'm hosed. I would like to be able to go to cash with that Apple position and diversify it, right? Um, what they're actually wanting to do is to get tax-free income, to get like municipal bonds and get some tax-free income, but they don't want to take that big cap gain hit by selling Apple and having to pay cap gain 20% on 800,000. So it's more than that. But so what you can do is and I'm oversimplifying this. There's a little more nuances to it, but you could take that $1 million of Apple and put it in a charitable remainder trust. Okay. When it's within the charitable remainder trust, you can sell that Apple position with no tax implication. You can sell it and liquidate the million to cash. Okay. Within that trust. Then we can diversify it and put it in municipal bonds so that they can start getting tax free income off of that to them. Here's what happens. Let's say they pass away next year and the value of the CRT, it's at $1 million. Whoever they list as the charity, they're the remainder beneficiary on this. That charity gets $1 million. So you can wait. Let's say they pass away in 10 years, and because they've been taking income and pulling off of this, maybe the CRT is only worth 700,000 at that point. They can 700,000 goes to the charity. So whatever's remaining within the charity or within the CRT goes to charity. But this is a way that they can diversify, get out of that concentrated Apple position, and get some tax-free income off of it.
What are the? I have questions. What are the rules here? So once they put the money in there, there's like tax benefits to doing so because you can
Mhm.
sell without paying capital gains. can they now what are the limitations on them accessing the money that's in there for
So
themselves?
those are the nuances. If you want, I can do a big deep dive on a video with you guys to go over CRT.
Yes.
But from
just because to simplify it
Not
for
right
now,
now,
like
but-
because you were saying, they want to diversify into more like income producing, like bonds and stuff. If those things produce income, can they have that income, or does that income stay in the trust? Like, because we are getting a tax benefit here, it seems like there's a catch.
Yep. So typically, I think it's between 5 and 6% that you can pull out annually out
There's a
of this
limit.
trust. So then
Okay.
it's just kind of that income feature, right? Get that 5-6%
Okay.
coming off of it.
That sounds great.
Okay, so it's like you can have this much money tax free out of your charitable income or your charitable remainder trust. You can have this much money out of it tax free, and whatever's left is meant for charity later.
Yep.
Or you're going to get hit with whatever penalties and taxes you're going to owe if you want to pull it out beyond that limit, is what it sounds like. So it's like it's an account. The function of the account, if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, is like, if you are the type who plans to give away a bunch of money later, you can put it here and pay no capital gains on its growth, and even take away some income from it up to a limit, all tax free, or at least with a lower tax burden, because maybe it's included in part of your income or something. I don't know if you have to pay income tax on that chunk that you take out. I imagine you would have to.
It depends on the type of income. So if you invest in tax-free municipals, it's going to come to you tax-free.
Oh, then it'll just be tax-free income. Okay. Mm-hmm. And up to a limit, you get to take that much money out. So if you're in a position where you're like, well, I need some money to keep coming in, but I've got this kind of nest egg. I want in a safe place. And then I imagine, is there ever any kind of exit where you can like, all right, never mind. I don't want to give this money away to a charity. I have cancer and we're going to fight it. And so it's going to cost a lot of money and I need that money now. And what, do you just pay the taxes on it? Or are there like 401k style penalties that you're going to pay on it?
I'm fairly certain it's an irrevocable election. So like once you put it into this trust, it's there.
Oh, fuck. And your limit as to how much you can take out is capped forever. So it's like that money is meant for charity.
You got to be sure. Yep. One-way street. Okay. Irrevocable.
And the other thing, I'll look that up just to make sure. But also with doing a CRT like this, like let's say you're super, super wealthy and you are more than likely going to have to pay estate tax, or your family does when you die because you got like $50 million. This will avoid that estate tax limit by whatever you put in there, so it doesn't count towards your estate tax exemption.
And if your family has that much money anyway, they probably have a foundation.
They're going to have a foundation. Exactly. Exactly.
So you leave it to the family foundation.
So, but the Charitable Remainder Trust, look it up a little bit, but maybe we do a video on it, really do a deep dive on it. Because for this person, for this family, husband and wife, that don't have money they want to leave kids because they don't have any kids, they're going to leave it to a charity. They've got a concentrated position. They want more tax-free income because they've got a pension and everything. This, I think, makes sense.
Sure. I am down for deep dives for sure.
Ooh,
I'll
be the channel. Deep dives.
I will stop changing the place that I live. In early May, followed by being in that next house for like 8 years. And so I'll be very down to have great internet and hear all about it from you for like years. So that sounds like a blast.
You could put a home in a CRT.
What the hell?
Yeah, well, I mean, that makes sense. That's an asset. You can put whatever you want in there, right?
If it's highly appreciated, more than likely you'd probably just rent it out.
I know, I would.
But if you want to get out real estate,
can you leverage it? Like, why, if you're other than just planning to give it all away eventually, why would you want to store your money there? Like, can you leverage it? Like, let's say I have like $10 million. Yeah, why would I put all my money there if I can then no longer access it?
So if you've got $1 million of Apple and you're really, really worried about Apple going down and you want to diversify, you avoid, if you were to sell it, your million goes more than likely to 750,000.
Yeah, but if you put it in the CRT, then your million goes to whatever you're able to take out every year as a limit.
Yeah.
So that's like way lower than 750,000, I bet.
Who are you leaving your
So
money
if
to, Mike?
Yeah, I don't, I
So
don't
you
know.
put $1 million
Probably
in,
some
and you can take
birds. Bird
you can
charity.
take 60,000 out of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 60,000 every year of tax-free income.
Okay, you could live on that.
Well, I mean, if you have $1 million in Apple, it's less than you would probably consume otherwise. But yeah, it's to the end of going to put it in charity anyway. Just allows you to eliminate the tax loss.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess if that's your plan to put it into charity. I guess, well, it's like, why would you amass enough wealth to give away at the end? Maybe is another question, unless you can leverage it, is what I'm saying. Like, why bother? Why bother having $5 million and then dying with $5 million in the bank, unless, and giving it away to charity, unless that $5 million gets me something today, like I can leverage it or something, or I get some kind of income off of it because it's invested somewhere. So is that like the point? You're able to put that money somewhere, it's invested, you're getting an income from it, and then you'll give away, the nest egg at the end. But that nest egg while you're alive is like an income generator for you with a lower tax burden. Is that really the right way to look
this
at
$1
it?
million is earmarked for charity, but in the meantime, I can generate 60,000 of tax-free income off of it.
Charity comes first.
There's got to be
it's
another
a charity-oriented vehicle. It's not. It's not. Mike wants to spend his Apple on, a car or a car collection, unless that's your charity.
Okay.
This specific case had a orientation to begin with that this vehicle enables.
If they had kids that they wanted to leave this to, then this wouldn't make sense.
Right.
So at that point, if they're worried about Apple going down, I would say, all right, Apple, I think, spits off a little bit of a dividend. So we could use that to buy puts on it. So if Apple does go down, buy some insurance on that. And then when the kids inherit it, it does the step up in cost basis.
Yeah, the step up cost basis. Alex, I have learned so many financial instruments from you. Dude, the ladder CD, I got so much credit for that at my HOA. I was like, guys, we should put this in a ladder CD. We're only getting 0.4 right now. We could be getting 4, maybe even 5 sometimes in a ladder CD.
What'd they say?
They were like, it's fucking brilliant. Let's do it. And they just did it. And it was awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, and so that's like part of our operating income now, is that we're just less stupid with our money.
And then my unethical gifting strategy.
Oh,
you remember that one?
Yep, Roth Daddy.
Roth Daddy's good. The reason I was just typing is because I was like, like the borrow, buy, die strategy, and I was like, this is like not that, because you give it all away when you die or something. So I was trying to come up with a new name. I got Grow Flow Glow is one of them. So you grow your assets, and then it income flows to you during your lifetime, and then you leave a philanthropic legacy that shines after you're gone.
You put go at the end, grow, flow, go. You're done. Over.
Yeah, well, the next one, Joe, was live, give, leave. Actually, so you live off the income, you commit to giving the remainder to charity, and you leave a legacy, not a tax bill.
I thought leave was leave the earth, but I understand.
I thought so too, but when I read it, I was like, okay,
that's good. That's good. That's good. I like it.
No, my unethical gifting, it wasn't the Roth Daddy. Do you remember the unethical gifting?
Oh God, what
was the unethical gifting?
No, Roth Daddy was the most unethical gifting you could possibly have, where you use it, right? You use a surrogate to step it up on purpose. You gift it to him, so the step up happens. He dies.
Well, Roth Daddy was the mega backdoor Roth, or the mega backdoor 401k Roth.
Right. Okay.
But the unethical gifting was the surrogate, like you were saying.
Yeah.
So, let's say I have that $1 million in Apple at a $200,000 cost basis, then I gift that to grandma because she's not doing too well. and
Yeah.
know that I'm the
See,
beneficiary on it.
I
and it's
thought you
coming
would
back to
gift
me.
it
Does it
to.
have to be a blood relative for step-up basis to work, or can it be anybody that leaves you shit when they die? Yeah, well, I thought it was what Joe was calling Roth Daddy then, because
That's
it was
what I
like
was
the idea
calling
was
Roth
like you have
Daddy.
a site, you have a market, you find I'm out here, I'm looking for a Roth Daddy, I'm looking for somebody that I can give all of my wealth to that will die soon and give it back to me.
Listen,
Is what I'm
okay,
looking
I have
for.
I have a
Roth Daddy.
terminal disease.
And in the meantime,
okay?
I'll do whatever you do with your Roth Daddy, because there's got to be something in it for them.
I've got a terminal disease. You've got a lot of cost basis. Okay, let's work
Right.
something out here.
Right.
Okay, because like I really,
Exactly.
really want to something, and then we can split it 80-20. Okay, and you still get like a bunch of money or whatever.
Right.
On the tax savings. Just give me like 50 grand, and I will
Mhm.
grant you my power of attorney or whatever, so I can't be a jerk about it, and then
Mhm.
boom, Roth Daddy.
Now, is it illegal to arrange something like that on a contract? Like for me to do it, so like if I get someone to agree, I get some older person to agree that they're going to do this, and I get them to sign a contract, and now they're obligated
I
to
don't think you can
leave
do
it in their
that
will that I get that money back.
because you have to technically give a gift. Like you have
Yeah,
to gift
yeah, it's got to
that
be a
money
gift.
to someone.
You-
And
I see.
one of the
So you
one of
can't
the
have
rules of
terms on a
gifting
gift.
is you have to relinquish all rights to that.
Here's what you do.
Like
You gotta find an old dude that is anti-state. Okay, you find an old libertarian. Okay, and you just everybody gives him their money, and he just eliminates your taxes. Libertarian,
Just because it makes them feel good.
just because it makes him
Just
feel
stick it
good.
to
He's
the
like,
man.
oh, I could prevent the government from earning $10 billion. I will absolutely take all of
Sure,
your
it's better
gifts.
than
Thank
charity,
you.
yeah.
And on a separate note, here's your money back.
he's the
Mhm.
cost basis superhero.
Yeah.
Yes, he died for your gains. Okay, Easter was Sunday. It's long enough. But no, that was Roth. That's what I thought Roth Daddy was. I'll have to review the clip.
Yeah, I'm with
But
you.
it's not an Alex episode without an unethical tax strategy. Avoidance, tax avoidance, not
Yeah.
Yes.
not evasion. It's avoidance. You should avoid
Yes.
taxes. You're irresponsible if you pay more taxes than you should.
Correct. It's not American.
Right.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, let's do a deep dive on the CRT because there's a lot of nuances to it, different ways to get payouts from it as well. So
Sure.
I would love to do a deep dive on that.
I love the deep dives. I learn all sorts of stuff. We challenge you with ridiculous questions about jurisdiction and cryptocurrency, and it's always a good time.
I love it.
I like to think we give you some questions to, take away. Because you're usually like, damn, I'll have to look into that. And that I'm always like excited because I'm like, oh man, nice. Now Alex gets to learn something too.
That's why I love doing these videos with you guys because like a lot of times when I go meet with someone and talk with someone and I were to say something like the CRT, they'd be, oh yeah, that's cool. And then that's it. But you guys actually like think like, oh, okay, well, why would I do this? Or, how does this work? So I thank you guys for that.
Oh, of course. And what if we did it in
pleasure.
international waters? And what if it happened in orbit a little bit? Or if we securitized it on some kind of escrow exchange?
Or an all-female astronaut crew.
All-female astronaut crew, I think, would work. And we should also talk Pokemon options escrow service would be interesting.
All right. I looked into this, and I'm able to do this. So I charge a fee, like a percent of assets, for the portfolios I manage. I could actually do that for other people with Pokemon cards. Like if I've got a 10 clients that each want to put 100 grand in, I can basically create a Pokemon portfolio for them and charge 1% of the value of it.
And I'm sorry, do you hold the cards or do they get the cards? Because I always say not your cards, not your Pokemon.
Well, I would create like a room, like a barn dominium, build that on some land, put it in a safe, and then that's the portfolio.
With an armed guard, because I'm gonna catch them all if you're not careful.
You got to get through Mr. Security Guard first.
That's hilarious, and I love that.
I
That
I
you're
could see
man.
institutional money going into Pokemon cards. I'm not even joking.
If they don't already, you could probably not pretend that you're in a position to up and build a secure vault and pay someone who does that already as a like custodian to facilitate that aspect of it. And you have like alternativeassetcustodian.com. And then you can build
There's
an
a
option system on top of it and give everyone IOUs about the Pokemon you definitely still have. Fractional
there's a
reserve
gentleman
Pokedex.
there's a gentleman who's got like $10 million in Pokemon cards. Like he was one of the first ones to get the Charizards first edition Shadowless. So, but he has it in like an armed place storage unit, and it is super protected, climate controlled.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you need that, and rather than build one yourself, I mean, if you were considering facilitating this, all you need to do is connect the pieces. You don't need to fulfill the construction by your
Right.
hand.
Right. Yeah. If someone's already doing it, leverage that.
And that's so cool that
Exactly.
you're going to be able to have that broader capacity. Okay, guys, I'm at 5%, and I made it, and it was a rocky start, but we did it, guys.
Woo!
Uh,
Let's do
call
it
it?
again.
how long into the video of the raw video do you guys think people are going to drop off? Is it 5 seconds? You think they're going to make it over a minute?
We
You're
gotta do
actually going to
something
publish the raw
provocative.
video?
I am probably going to cut out the part where I was upset about being disconnected for a while.
Oh, that's funny. Okay, yeah. Well, I mean, if you
That's
cut
too
all
much.
that out,
That
then
was
I
too
don't know.
much.
It's a tough call. But that was real bad, yeah.
It was too
I
much.
wouldn't
It was
expect
far
many
too
people
much.
to make it through that. You have to really be into cringe. It's gotta really be a thing you like to make it through that stuff.
We
That
have a
sounds like
couple.
a YouTube channel.
We have
Into cringe.
I'm in it to cringe it. See, it's perfect because you
Guys,
hate
somebody stole my site trader, or somebody stole my trade things site idea. Like whole
What's that?
hog. I want it. Well, I was just seeing if it exists, and it looks like it does exist, but buns.com,
it. So
bunz.com.
you wanted to make buns.com and someone did that before you, huh?
Well, what I wanted to do was like create a site. It started out as like, I want a site where you can trade things locally. So like you upload whatever you want to trade, and then you tell the system like what kind of things you're looking to get. And so it'll match you with people that are looking for things you have and have things you're looking for. And so you
Like
can
a
find
bartering.
people. Yeah, exactly. A bartering site.
Yeah, automated
Where,
butter.
like
Okay.
no money, you're just trading things for things. And then I thought about like, how do you manage value there? And of course, it always comes down to like a site specific point system, which ends up being like a fucking currency. And now it's like, I don't know, it would be like a cryptocurrency. It's weird.
That's just
But,
dollars, but go on.
I know, but it's not. Like this site did exactly what I was expecting. They have like buns currency.
What?
And
It's
like
buns?
this person values this dress at like 10 buns, and so you probably wouldn't want to offer them something that was worth much less than 10 buns. I'm not sure exactly. I have
It's
to
USD
kind of, I just
correlated
found
for
this
sure.
thing.
Very cool though.
Yeah, it's in Toronto, I think. So maybe CAD correlated, but yeah, either way, interesting idea. I really have wanted. I've wanted this so bad. I've said this before on the pod. I've always felt inspired by the guy who traded up a paperclip to a car. I'm like, we can all do this. Like we all have stuff that is worth trading. You just need the right platform.
I feel like the meme can be done once, maybe twice.
Yeah.
He spent the meme magic on doing it the first time,
I guess it would take a ton of time as well to find somebody because you're thinking a lot about value and things. Anyway, all right, whatever. Let's call it.
A lot of time.
But everything you said is probably still true, though. Anyway, we'll have to follow up with Alex to see how his secret YouTube that we won't say is going. I'll have to check that out. Very excited. We'll have a long video on CRT.
CRT.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Charitable Remainder Trust.
Charitable Remainder Trust. Alrighty. Well,
It's a
Alex,
good one.
thank you again for being available for this. I am glad I was able to run some of that by you because it is about to happen. I'm about to get hit with the net and a bunch of stuff's going to change.
That's
Yeah, we're
exciting.
gonna have a lot to talk about. And
I
I was
love it.
saying, like in text messages, since I just bought a house, it's like, money's been weird because there's like things you want to buy and you're afraid to spend too much because you want to keep money in the bank in case something goes wrong with the new house or something. And I'm finally feeling like more stable. And it's like, man, with Joe selling a house, me just kind of feeling stable again, we're gonna have all sorts of financial questions
Oh,
over the
yeah.
next
Just get a HELOC.
year.
Get a
I was
HELOC
gonna
on the
say,
home.
just get a HELOC
Good
and that's
God.
your savings done.
That's your emergency fund for the house.
That's what I
Holy
wanted to do.
shit.
I'm probably
Yeah,
going
see,
to do it for
we
my
really
next
gotta
house.
talk. I should stop holding so much cash. Okay.
It's
we'll
just
talk.
available credit.
The USD in your pocket is not working. You gotta
Yeah.
you gotta
Yeah,
you
yeah.
gotta
You gotta do
deploy it
something.
somewhere. Although Buffett has a lot of cash, maybe he's working on something.
We got to do another call for sure.
Yeah. Because, like, what if I have that HELOC and then I have an emergency and then I lose my job and now I have borrowed money that I owe and no income. It's like, at least the savings, it's like, that's money I have. And if I have to spend it, I spend it. It just feels safer.
Well, I mean, you don't put the
But-
money into like well, you could put it into jewelry. It was like you don't put it into, snacks
North
or whatever
Korea.
and eat it. You deploy it and then you get to keep the
I
money.
see. Right. So if you really need it, you can undeploy it
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
okay.
you use your HELOC and then
So this is just a
liquefy
matter
it
of
or
liquidity.
liquidate it.
This
and
is
then,
a matter. Okay.
Yeah.
This is like, you still have the money.
Yeah.
It's just doing something better. And then the HELOC is to allow you to manage the expenses without having to use the physical money that's set
That
aside
is
for the
exactly
emergencies.
correct.
It's like you're spending the emergency money and you're replacing it just like you would, but you're using this other kind of like flexible credit to manage the actual transactions.
Yeah, because you can always
something like
liquidate
that.
whatever you have as long as you're not doing extreme speculation that can like easily go to zero. Like VTI won't go to zero. If it does, you should have bought guns.
Right.
Right.
Does a HELOC, like, what are interest rates for HELOCs usually? Is it like,
They're going to be a little higher.
A little
They
higher
could
right now.
be in like the 8 to 9% range, but
Okay, so
you
lower
just
than a credit
keep
card.
it there on standby.
Well, you don't have
right?
to
And
spend
if
it.
you use
keep
it,
at
you
zero.
pay it back
Yeah.
fucking ASAP? Like, what's
Yeah.
the deal? You just try to pay it back really, really fast? Okay.
It's a credit card.
And it's typically interest only on the HELOC is what you have to pay.
Okay, we'll talk more. We have to end this episode. I'm not going to
Well,
be able to
HELOC
handle
was
this. Joe
also the
dies.
thing I wanted to do, so I'll probably check that out myself as well. I guess we
Ooh, fuck yeah.
I guess we
should do a
can't-
HELOC episode.
we should do a HELOC episode.
HELOC and CRTs.
I think that would.
Yeah.
I think half an hour for both is probably appropriate. I don't know if I want to talk
sounds
about
great.
CRT for a full hour. All right, guys.
Yeah, because he has a kid.
I
So-
could.
All right. Yeah.
So-
All right. Yeah.
Later, guys.
I'm going to call it there.
Thanks, Alex.